Hi, I'm Lyle from Made by Marley. I'm a furniture artist, and today I've got an absolute belter of a video. It's all about stenciling, and it's an Indian finish, and I show you how to make patterns, how to use your stencil, how to use parts of your stencil, Posca pens, decoupage, you name it. It's in this video today. So follow along, and I'll show you what I did with this. Okay, let me show you this piece. I'm sorry, but I've hardly been able to concentrate for about the last 3 weeks knowing that this piece was coming up. This piece, believe it or not, was going to landfill. They didn't want it anymore. Now, there's a few things that are a little bit...
So it was an ad. It was an ad in the local marketplace. It said literally, come and get it now or it's going to landfill. Lel was like, Ammo, go get it, go get it.
So what can I say about it? Let me just show you all its lovely parts. It's got 3 fabulous long drawers up in the top. Yeah. This is where it gets a little bit, see what people try and do with something this age is they keep thinking if they put bits over the top of it, it'll make it look less as it does. However, I'm going for an Indian look and I'm wanting bits like this. So I'm going to try and get as much of this, which I think they've literally wrapped it up like a present. It's like wrapping paper. So I'm going to get that all out of there. And I think what I'll do is I'll use my own decoupage to decoupage in there to try and make that look a bit nicer. If I can get this wood on these ones up here, I'll be keeping that and just cleaning it. Well... And on with the Hammer House of Horrors. It's not much better up in here either, to be honest with you. I mean, look in here. You just need to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but this is the joys of old furniture. Right, okay, what next? The top
it's the same
has...
downstairs, isn't it?
Eh?
It's the same down there.
Oh, the top has... It really has... It's gnarly. There's nothing you can do about that. So gnarly that I actually really enjoy it. It's had a lot of burns on it.
Yeah.
A lot of pans and things sat on it at one point. It's warped here. Where these drawers are, it's a little bit warped. Am I bothered about that? I don't know whether it's warped or it actually went out like that. I can't actually...
Maybe it did.
Maybe it actually did. However, the horrors kind of continue. So that one's not too bad. It's like the good, the bad and the ugly. Where is it? That one, they've taken it out, and then there's this one here. So I'll be taking the green out here, only because I want these drawers to be practical again. So they're all coming off of there, out of that. All of the locks and all these little handles, these little handles might not go back on, but all the locks, I'm even going to get, this time, I'm going to get Martin to take the hinges off this.
This hinge.
The hinges and these pattern things here, I'm going to get them to take these off as well, and these off. Why? Because even if I don't put these back onto this piece of furniture, so many things wrong with this, not structurally wrong. And you know what the most amazing thing about it is, for its age, it's not had any woodworm. We've checked it all the way over, not a single bit of woodworm, and that doesn't very often happen to pieces this age. Downstairs, let's have a wee look in here now. Yeah, they were into covering things up with I mean, don't come for me, but I actually like this paper. I peeled a bit off the top and I went, oh, how retro is that? The only problem is the bit in the top was so greasy, and I think maybe this stuff in here is, but it would be nice as a sort of accent somewhere, maybe even if I could put a little bit into it somewhere, just a nod to what it had in it. Yeah, so
And it's massive.
it's vast.
Storage space.
Absolutely vast. And I just love all of these little drawers. That would be for your cutlery back in the day. It's got all those little drawers up the top. So what am I going to be doing with this? First thing I'm going to do is I'm absolutely going to scrub the life out of it. Once it's been scrubbed, I'm going to do what I can within these cupboards and remove what paper I can. I'm bumping it now. Remove what paper I can out of there, and removing what paper I can out the bottom. Once I've got that to the stage where it's clean and I've removed all the paper, I can go back. Once I've done the outside, I want to do the outside first because that'll tell me what I want to do to the inside and what paper I want. But I think some will be left sticking on it and some won't be. And so I'm thinking, right, okay, well, we'll see what we have to do in the way of camouflage. But as I said, we'll get Martin to take everything off of it. It's not actually got any handles. So I might put something up here near the end. So I would need 1, 2 there. I don't know if these little ones, if I can find small handles that are a little bit more Indian and ornate, fine. Yeah, it is a glorious piece of furniture. This sort of furniture is to be celebrated. And for before anybody watches my video, I never get this, but just in case you decide that you want to say, don't paint it, I'm just going to block you. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, you're not even going to get a chance to say it to me again.
Yeah.
I'm painting it for lots of different reasons.
No, let's talk about that for a second as well. It's that thing of, people say that sometimes, don't they? But this was literally about to go to landfill.
Yeah, and I now have it in my possession, which means that I can now do whatever I want with it. And also, I'm a furniture artist. So if you're thinking if you're a furniture Puritan, then I'm not the channel for you, really. But I hope that what I'll do at the end of this will make it so stunning that you will forgive me. And also, there's no way, I mean, with all the dings and everything that it's got actually going wrong with it anyway, you would probably need to deal with it to paint it or do something with it. It needs a whole overhaul. It needs
that's what it needs.
It needs a whole load of TLC for a start off. And just to horrify the furniture Puritans again, if you're still watching, if you haven't already gone, because if you're still here, I'm going to do this purple. You probably will have gone now. Okay, so clean, hardware off, rip out the paper, and I'll be back and I'll show you how I'm going to mix up my purple. And I'm going to do, instead of me doing my 2 normal canvas coats or 1 canvas coat, I'm just doing 1 coat of purple for the underneath. There's going to be a whole lot of, as you can imagine, being done to this.
I'm pretty horrified as well. I'm with you. Purple? Okay.
I know, it's not something I do. It is, I think only once have I done a purple piece of furniture, but I saw a skirt that somebody was wearing. Oh, I can't remember where I saw it. And that skirt sticks in my mind. And I thought it was purple and mustard. And so the features of this are going to be purple and mustard. And it'll probably have some white, some hot pink, bringing in all that Indian vibe. And I might even crack out one of the sets made by Marley Stencils. They're not out until the beginning of February, and maybe do some floral panels here. And it's going to be a stenciled extravaganza. So if you're new to stenciling and your stenciling always goes wrong and everything else, that I think, oh, I'm not going near stenciling. I want to change your mind on stenciling. I want to show you how easy it is to stencil. But before we can do all that, we need to get to the point where we can. So I'm just going to crack on. Be back soon. Okay, wow. I'm not even going to talk about the horrors that has been what we've been doing. So inside these doors here, you probably be able to see them better if I get up here. It looked like it was flat, but it was actually cardboard that had been pinned onto the door. Now, this was a little bit like Pass the Parcel, and you unwrapped another layer. There's been so many layers of paper in here, and all held together with little white tack pins, with push pins.
And nails.
Everywhere, and nails.
Tiny little really sharp ones.
We've got all those out, and we've got as many layers of paper as we can out. This here, what's left, is a bit like, oh. But what I'm going to do to this now is I'm going to, while I'm painting outside, I'm going to soak the inside and get what I can that's loose off of this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset it with my own decoupage paper. The inside of the doors I'm going to paint, and I might put some decoupage paper on here. Now, on taking it all apart, we found that there's handles. This has originally had handles. So those pieces there that had been on there were not the original pieces. So we're going to get some, I'm going to actually replace them. Why am I not taking the doors off right now? Well, I'll be honest, I just don't want to have to look in that crime scene anymore. I've got all of the felt out of the drawers. There's no green felt now. They're out of all of them. So that's done. This one here was the ugliest of them all, and it had about 30 years worth of toast crumbs in the bottom of there. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. It's been cleaned. It wasn't actually, the outside of it wasn't actually that dirty. It was in somebody's house. Just unfortunately, the inside is absolutely filthy, manky. Yeah, I haven't got words for that. Okay, so I was going to get Matt to take the doors off.
Now.
It's clean-ish now. Yeah. It's clean enough for me to paint, and my paint will stick on the outside.
Yeah.
And the inside I'm going to work on, and I think I might actually even make myself a patterned decoupage paper for the inside, just because it's going to be a sort of custom thing anyway, and I'm in for it now anyway. So I thought,
your steam stripper thing.
yeah, my steam stripper. Have I got a steam stripper?
You've got a steam thing for getting, like, you know.
I might blow the piece away. It's quite
Quite
heavy. It'll soak and soak and soak the wood. I really don't want to soak it too much. I think when you come to your last layer and it looks disgusting, is to clean it, but try not to peel it if you want to decoupage it, because then you're going to have smooth rough. I think I'm probably just going to give it a really good clean. It doesn't smell dirty, so there's no smells here I'm worried about. I just want to refresh it with nice paper and get it looking. So the outside, let's talk about this purple that I'm going to make. Now, I had an empty can of Greek blue. It's got a tiny little bit of blue in the bottom. That's it. It's not going to make much of a difference, but colours. These are the colours I'm going to use now. I want a purple. Now, depending on what kind of purple you're looking for, you can, use red or pink to mix in your blue. So I'm going to use a little bit both until I get it quite right. I've got a purple in my mind. I mean, it probably doesn't mean much to you, but when I think of Prince, I think of a nice purpley colour. But Singers in the 80s is not exactly the way to mix your colours. Okay, so
most of your audience will know who Prince is.
Yeah. So I've got my Frida blue. I'll give that a good dozen of that. I need enough to paint this piece once. So, and I want it more blue than I don't want it a cerise purple, if you know what I mean. I want it a blue purple. So now I'm going to put in my red. Quite a lot of red. I'm going to give it a wee scoop. No, I'm not. That's just naughty. And then I'm going to give it a big dollop of the pink. Right, let's see where I get to with this. I'll show you in a minute once I... This is my current colour, but I want it a little bit lighter, I think, so I'm going to add a bit more of this. Paint Alchemy, it's brilliant fun. Now, see, it's gone cerise, and I don't want that. And then put, oh, hang on. Bit more blue. A bit more blue. And then, oh, that was really naughty what I just did there. Do you know, I think this is what I'm looking for. What do you think, Matty?
Yeah.
Yeah? Now, Annie Sloan has a purple. It's called Rodmill. I do have some, but I wanted to make a custom purple because I think I've got more of a...
It's a different shade to that, isn't it?
It is a different shade, yeah. This is much deeper. I'm wondering whether I might just be a little bit cheeky and put... if I've got any Greek blue in here. My Greek blue was finished, that's why I used the can. Let's see what this does. Might not do much. The colours are very pigmented with Annie Sloan paint, so yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to say that that's what I'm looking for. Now, I am going to masking tape up my hinges, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to show you what the colour looks like on the doors. Hang on a minute. It's got an amazing big catch. And there was a big bit of wood sticking up with a magnet on it, so somebody's put magnets on it at some point. Matt removed that. That's why the door's pushing in right now, because they've tried to kind of stop that happening. But it was a bit of an ugly fix.
Because I threw it away, but they put this magnet bracket on top of a piece of MDF, which had just deteriorated over time, so it was all wobbly.
Do you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm actually going to scrape this red into here. I just don't see the point in having that little bit in the bottom of there. Now I want to keep what's left, that tiny little amount, because I might want I might want to mix up variations of my purple as it goes. So, but as I said, it's going to be purple and mustard. So, all right, and there's going to be some navy blue on it too, and probably some gold and a bit of everything. Right, okay, let's have a wee look and see how this looks. Ooh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, these panels are not going to be this colour, but I'm just going to canvas coat the panels. The rest I'm just doing one coat on. It's got some really nice details to bring out on this. So now I want as much texture on my furniture as possible. So I'm doing it the Annie Sloan, all cross hatchways, so that I get loads of texture at the end of this, because that is the name of the game for me. Oh, I forgot my handles. I can't go any closer to those right now. Not my handles, my hinges. So I'm going to get on now. I'm going to tape off my hinges and I'm going to paint this. Oh, it's looking nice already. This was the kind, I'm not a purple per se type of person. Really, I'm not. But you're a lot more of a purple than me, Matty. You like purple.
Yeah, I like a bit of purple.
So I think this is going to be
a tricky one to carry off on furniture.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can carry it off with an Indian inspired piece, because
that's
you know,
that's what we're about to see, isn't it?
Yeah, well, what if I can do it? Cheeky thing. Right, okay, I'm just going to get ahead and I'm going to paint this whole piece this beautiful purple. Okay. Okay, what am I doing? So the purple's had its first coat, and now what I'm doing is I'm making myself a sort of rough template here, because I want to paint this in sections. Before I do any of the design work, I need to work this out. So I'm roughly just kind of, it's not quite the shape of the thing here. In fact, I didn't even put it on straight, I don't think. Right, okay, let's have a wee look at this. Yeah. So this is our sort of template. Now, let me just think. I want to fold this in half because I want it reasonably equal. This is a good way of getting things kind of how you would like them. Now, I want to cut something kind of, but I'm only going to go halfway down with this, because then I'm going to take this end and fold it over so I get the same shape on the other side. And I use templates a lot just to kind of roughly keep me in the on the straight and narrow. Right, let's have a wee looky here. Yeah, now what I'm hoping to do is sort of have a rough sort of, not going to do too much measuring. Right, here. Now, got my chalk here, so let me just run it along here. Now, this is just rough. I mean, it's not really going to make a huge amount of difference, but I want to have my sort of mustard accents, and I don't have a huge amount of space in between all of these, so I thought if I do this, then that'll, because I also want to put some cream on it as well, just to break up all this purple. So roughly that's my sort of template, and it can look like that because it's an Indian piece. Right, okay, now I want in here to be a bluish colour, I want here to be a mustard colour, and I want in here to be white. Don't know about this band yet. I think we're going to heavily make this band really ornate, so let's just keep that the rough colour it is right now. So first of all, let's try and mix up a blue. Now I've got purple on my brush, and I'm going to put some Frida blue in here. I need to make sure I've got enough for every one of my panels. And what other colours would I like in this? Let me have a wee look behind me. I think maybe some Giverny. Pop some of that in it. And I'm spotting for choice. I don't want to start putting turquoise on it because I do that with everything. I don't want it too bold. So do you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to put a little bit of brown in this. There. Let's see what this does. And see, yeah. I think that's kind of what I was looking for. Funnily enough. Isn't that scary? Now, I didn't clean my brush from when I had the purple on it, so there'll be a little residue of purple as well. Let's just get some of this off now. I just want to kind of almost, I want to stipple this blue in here. Now, there's going to be a whole load of design work over here, so don't panic. Just do that. Around here. Now, I'm going to do, whatever I do to this panel here is going to be done to every one of the panels on the furniture, because there's the ones up the top, these ones here. Now, I'll have to do all these ones, these 4 first, then cut it slightly for my template, slightly for the 2 above, and the 2 on the sides are huge. They'll be huge panels, so, all right, okay, so, doesn't have to be perfect, this. Now, so that nothing's touching up against the shrink. Now, can you see how that's given a kind of worn look, the stippling? I'd rather it looked worn than completely painted in perfectly. Now, I've got, I did have here a minute ago, did I trip over it? I tripped over something a couple of minutes ago, and I think it was the cream paint. Aha, it was. Right, in this little container, I'm going to put some Annie Sloan's Old Ochre. This is all Annie Sloan's paint today.
Just for a change.
Well, it's just in case they're new, because I still get asked what kind of paint it is. Right, in here, now, I want to do it this colour. I'm not stippling this, because I want the slightly more solid around here. Now, this look will look good if your furniture is a bit like mine and it's got a lot of detailed parts. Like I've got all these nice like mouldings and things around the recesses, which will make it look quite good. Now, you don't have to be too perfect at this stage because we're going to be putting a mustard onto here. So, and to be honest with you, the Indian look, by the time this is covered in stencils, you're not going to see anything much anyway, but, well, you know, try and keep it reasonably tidy. Quickly just do around here so you see what I'm doing. I'll tell you what, I'll go off camera and I'll finish this and I'll dry off the centre so I can come back and put the mustard on, just so you can see what every panel is going to look like before we start all the artwork. I won't be starting the artwork until tomorrow. It's late in Scotland tonight. Oh, there's a little bit there, it wasn't quite dry. So I'll just be getting the panels ready for getting up in the morning and starting. I don't mind that there's a little bit of purple in there. Right, I'll go and finish this off just now. Okay, so I dried the blue and I dried the white. Now, when you apply your white, you don't want it to apply it solidly. Don't overcoat it. You want to see that colour underneath from the purple, because that'll give it that older look. If you do it perfectly and you go across it all, it'll not look distressed at the end. So try as you might to kind of just keep it to one coat, just so that it's, didn't mean to touch up against that there. And this paint colour that I'm using is Tilton, which is Annie Sloan's sort of yellow colour, and a little bit of the purple that I mixed up to do the other colour. And I put a tiny little bit of ochre acrylic in it. Why? Because I just wanted a more ochre colour, because I really want something like that. Now, I'm probably going to have to tidy this whole template up as I get on, but I just want you to see right now how this is going to... Now, this yellow we'll have 2 coats. Yeah, because we're on to the design work when we get as far as into here. Now, I know what you're saying. Looks like a primary school project right now. And it will look like this for a wee while. You're just going to have to ignore it, how it looks. Now, I don't want these lines to be perfect, but I don't want them too wonky either. So I'm making it up now as you go along. See, you can see already. See, I'm doing it. Right, okay, so once that's dry, I'm going to give this another coat. I am liking this, but I can see it's going to need another coat of paint. I'm going to get on and dry that. Now, are we clear on what I'm doing with every one of these panels? This is how they're going to look to begin with. To begin with, I'm going to put a bit more sort of darker blue over the top of this in the form of some distress, but that won't come until tomorrow. Okay, so I did what I said I was going to do last night. I also brightened up some of my purple, which is this colour, and I put a little bit more cerise in it, which is this colour. So that's brightened it up, and I put it around here. Now, I understand and appreciate that right now it really does look like a primary school project. And if you're new to my channel, you're probably thinking, she's absolutely ruined that piece of furniture. This is what I keep trying to say to you. I trust what I've done here. This is my process. This is the process that to make an Indian piece of furniture look antique. These are the things you have to do to it. It has to go in layers, and I trust completely, even though I don't like looking at it at this stage. It's never a nice stage when your furniture looks like this, but you just have to go, no, my process is sound. I know what I'm doing. I've done Indian furniture, and somebody from India said it looked like something that had came from their great-grandparents' house.
Yeah,
so
stick around till the end of the video.
You just have to kind of you just have to go, right, okay, how am I going to make this happen? Now, last night, there's things that you need to do in the stages. So I put the mustard on last night, but what I did this morning was I came along and slightly lightened it. And can you see, I've just put it across here, leaving the dark underneath it. Can you see that? What makes it look aged more?
Right, so.
It's just the little things like this that matter. I've done it up here as well. Ignore anything on the purple. But can you see how I haven't gone right up into there as well? That's what gives it the aged look, not painting it all in like it's worn. Now, we're going to be working on this panel here. Now, you've probably seen that I've got rid of that shape that I did last night. I went in after it and I thought, do you know, I really don't like that shape. So again, I'm just going to show you that process because this is the darker shade. And all I'm going to do is just run this around here on the mustard that's already on it. Obviously painting in these parts here because I'm going to put something over this. And that's all I did. You don't have to make it your life's work. It just gives it, especially things like this, when you have it and you haven't put it right up to the edge, that's what's going to give it that antique worn look. Right, I'll get to that in a minute. That's not why I'm here. What am I going to do with this? Now, I found this is from a piece of antique. Oh, my nails keep breaking. It's because I've been washing 1 million paintbrushes today.
And when she says 1 million, it's nearly 1 million.
It's so horrible. I tell everybody all the time, do wash your brushes as you go, wash your brushes as you go. But I've been so busy. I've just kept using more and more and more and more brushes. I had so many brushes in my paint sink. I could hardly put my sinks are this deep because they're the old washing sinks. I mean, I could hardly get my hands in for the amount of paintbrushes that I had. I was like, oh, how many rinses? I had to
go out this morning and I came back. She's like, that's all I've been doing since you've been gone. Washing paintbrushes.
And just to get them all spruced up again. So they're all washed and ready. So I'm feeling good. Anyway, this here is going to go across here like this. Now, the art is not to have things like this so that when I apply this over here, that's already given that there a worn look. But before we put this on, we need to deal with this layer. Now, this is predominantly going to be a stenciling project. However, I do have one stamp here. Now, for this stamp in here, you don't want it to be too much of a difference, but you want to be able to see that it's there, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense, Martin? You're always the kind of sanity check here of all the things that I say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this, which is my mustard that I lightened to do around here. I shouldn't need a huge amount. about that much, I think. And I'm going to add a little bit of brown to it, just a little bit. I'm using all of my paints up out of these just now because the temperatures had been so cold in Scotland. I didn't want to fill them up and make my paint vulnerable. I think that's too much brown, so let's just add as we go. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. Just put that in the sink. That'll be more, that's me starting to gather again another million brushes. Right, okay, a small form stamp or a small form stencil, something that's neat print, like a ditzy print, as opposed to a big wide open print stamp, anything. This is just going to be the sort of texture below this, really. So you've no idea how excited I am about this piece of furniture. It's just way too giddy. Now, I would normally say don't do it on something soft. However, I'm not wanting, remember, we're trying to go for the antique look, so I'm not looking for a solid kind of, I just want it kind of there and no more. No, doesn't matter if you get it onto the blue because it's just, this is the best way to build up the layers. We might need to make it slightly darker. Yeah, hang on a minute. Sometimes it's just a matter of playing around with it. I don't want it ended up too mucky brown either, so just get a bit more brown in here. It's getting really quite brown now. Give that a smoosh round. Try again, because I do want it kind of to be seen. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're touching up against things. There's so much going to happen to this that, you know, it's best not to kind of worry too much. The good thing about Indian finishes is you can fix as you go, but then I kind of tend to keep them all at one to do my fixes, you know, like I'm going to do all this side fix and right, okay, that's all I'm wanting around here. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite clear. And that is just enough by putting that little bit of brown in it. That's given that kind of worn and the look I was going for. No. I don't know why I'm...
Many layers.
Well, yeah, it's the layers that's the key to this. Right, okay. So, I haven't got a heat gun to heat this up, but really what I would be doing now is drying it and I'm going to apply this on here with Mod Podge. Yeah? So you understand what's going to happen to every one of these panels. Same deal every time. The upstairs is different from the downstairs because the downstairs I did the ochre panel, but I had that frame around the door which I did ochre, so it's the same colours just in a different orientation up there. And I've put this light purple along these drawers and up round there and the same on the top. So just bringing in these different shades. So you know I'm going to glue all of these onto here like that because we're going to come back and then we're going to start stenciling over the top of this. This is just the background right now. So that I'm not going to bother showing you that. But do you remember that the actual main body has only had one coat? Now we want to start distressing it, but I also want to put a pattern in the main body of the purple. So let me just get rid of, this is going to be a mini mix mat day as well, I think. Always have a bucket ready to put your stamps in. That will help. And let me just turn my mix mat round so that I can talk about the purples. Right, stick that over there. So let's just show you. So this is the one that I mixed up with the cerise. So that's my original one with pink. This one here is Annie Sloan's from the Can Rodmel. That's that purple. And this is the one that you saw me mix yesterday. This is the Lel one. So you can see this one here has slightly more reddy pink. This one has less, more blue. And this one here has got a lot more cerise in it. That's my shades, yeah? I'm not going to be using this one right now, which is that one there. I'm just going to be using these two. And how am I going to use them? Now, I want a wet brush. And that won't be difficult because just about every brush I've got is wet right now. And this one here isn't wet. Go figure. Right, so I'm going to be using the Annie Sloan and mine kind of combined. Now, What I want to do is I want to start making this look a little bit worn. And how am I going to do it? Is by using the lighter. It's just the Annie Sloan one. That's it there. Is slightly lighter. Slightly lighter. Just a wee bit lighter. Not hugely lighter. Now you need quite a lot of water on your brush. And I am going to go and I'm going to go around my piece, making it look almost dusty.
Dusty is good.
Dusty is good, Martin. That's how sometimes you look in the morning, a bit dusty.
Yeah, bit dusty, bit pre-worn.
Yeah. Martin got a new jacket this week because he kept saying his old jacket was his good jacket and it had a hole in it. So
it is my good jacket.
Yeah, it was his good jacket that he wore out here and then it was no longer his good jacket. But anyway, he got a new jacket. And I was walking along beside him and I said, do you know, Martin? I said, you look fabulous. I went, and for once, you don't look like you've pre-worn, because Martin buys new clothes, but they also look like somebody's worn them before he bought them. And I don't know how he pulls it off.
I think that's the way I wear them.
Yeah. So you can see how that there is starting to look. It's just the lighter. But if you wanted to be a little bit clever, you could get some of that cerise pink and just have some of that in and amongst it. You know, just here and there. It doesn't need a lot of it. Seem to be shedding with these new brushes. This isn't a synthetic brush that I'm blending with. I'm using the real McCoy. Back to this. Now, once I've done this, and I've got this suitably grungy and faded, because that's the name of the game here. Oh, there's more here. Don't know why it's doing that. I want more of Annie Sloan's because it's the lighter. Now, once I've done the whole piece, all of the bits that were the original purple, not up in the back there, because there was another piece of this print that was a square, which I think I might put up in the back. But once I've got as much of the purple back to how I like it, and you mean, by all means, you can blend it in or just do what I'm doing and just kind of make a feature as you go. I'm going to put a little bit more of the brighter stuff, I think, on this edge here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to quickly dry this off and come straight back, because I'm going to put a stencil over this as well. So that'll make it a little bit unusual too. I'm just kind of highlighting this edge with the brighter stuff, but this is how it's going to, hopefully, this is where it's going to land. It's a little bit too light there for me. Right, okay, back in a minute. Okay, so I've just dried this panel off just so I can show you what I'm going to do. I'm using this stencil here. It's an Annie Sloan stencil. Can't remember the name of it. I've had it for a while. And I've got my purple, which is this colour here, the colour I've mixed. And I've added some Annie Sloan's Oxford Navy to make it very dark. And now I'm just going to load up my stencil brush. And now again, I'm wanting this kind of distressed, so you don't need to do all of it. It's just to give it some depth. The furniture, I'll show you in a minute the flatness of how it looked before and how it now looks. So you're just kind of like, it's just giving it something else. It's stopping it looking flat, and it's also bringing in another element of pattern that is going to really work with the overall design. Now, there's not a huge amount of colour to this, unusually for me. It's pretty much the colours that you see that I have at the moment. They're not kind of like, I'm not adding anything more to them. I might add a pink, I don't know, but at the moment, I'm going to do this. Just go up and around here. But that's all I've done. It's just a darker shade. You can go up and down your shades with this look as well as when you put your layers on. And I think that's why I love the interest of Indian pattern, because I just love all the interest, everything that you can see about it. By doing this and not caring too much about where it all goes and how it all lands, you're going to get really kind of interesting looks. Yeah. I think you understand that part. I don't think I'm going to labour much more on this. It's just that when you come back, all these parts are going to be done, and I don't want you to miss anything so that you know what you're doing. Boom. Right? Can you see what a difference that has made? I want you to look at the flat base coat of the purple and then look at this, and you can see it's got depth because it's got the dark I've left kind of around the edges. Yeah, and you can see a little bit of both. All the sort of bits where I've left it, so it's starting to look worn. It's starting to come together. This is what you want. This is what you want. Now, I said about this, which is going to go, and I've dried this panel, and I'll quickly glue this on so that there's absolutely no, what's the word, grey area on what's actually been happening, what's actually happening here. Now, I am going to just check the brush was a clean brush. Now, I haven't filled these holes because I'm hoping to find handles that are quite impressive to go across there, but I think I might have to break into my vintage stash and have a look, which is still...
I think it deserves some nice handles.
Still over in the stable, actually, all my other handles. See what we can do. Soft cloth, I think, in my pocket. Oh, I've got a sponge, that'll do nicely. Just make sure that I've got all of it glued. Because I want this smooth. Oh, I should have scrunched it up and put it on. Oh, never mind. And I'm really rubbing it because I want some of the print to come off of it as well, actually. And I'm going to kind of work hard to kind of make this look quite distressed. I've got a sponge, see where it's wet, and I'm using the rough side. Can you see? Oh, that looks pretty nifty. Now remember your edges because it would wear as well. Right, okay. That's going to have stenciling over the top of it. I've also got some sandpaper here because I want to take some bits off around the edges to make it look a little bit scuffed. Not all of the edges, just some. There was a crack in the wood there, so let's see if we can kind of almost bring that out. If you're going up and down, go this way as well. It stops it looking too manufactured. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just aging up this panel because there's going to be artwork that's going on here as well. Because today is predominantly about stenciling. However, I am going to be doing some hand painting on the white. I'm quite happy with that. I bet you I can't apply the next bit as wrinkled. That'll be the telling. Right, okay, so that's how it's all going to look when you come back. It's going to have this in the middle. It's going to have that stamping below it, behind it. It's going to have this pattern with the faded look around it, and everywhere is going to be done. Okay. Okay, let's start up on these. I just want to put this little stencil that I've pretty much cut to size to fit in here. And I've got the original purple. By cutting it to size, it kind of, you get less bleed through. But if you're struggling with stenciling, it's really quite simple. You don't need a lot of paint on your stencil brush. That's the first thing. Offload before you use it, and then just do a sort of circular motion. But I'm kind of going back and forward because I'm in such a tight space. I don't mind if it touches up against there because remember that's going to be the look that we're going for. So then just move this down so it kind of butts up against there and just work your way along. Now I've covered up the other complete side because I've done that side. So I might have to keep kicking under the blanket so that I can see where
trying to maintain the suspense.
Well, it's just that I think
give the game away too soon.
I don't think it's that. I think if I was watching this tutorial and I saw a whole other side, I would be too busy staring at that to get the rudiments and trying to work it out myself. Where if I show you and we kind of halfway through, I take the blanket off, then it'll make sense, I think.
There you go. There's
I think that's the answer as far as I'm concerned, because I quite often I learned through kind of working it out. I learned through doing, like I couldn't read, like if I read something about furniture art, I'm more likely to forget it. Now, what else I did up at this point in stage was I've got my little roller and I've got my mustard. Ignore my palette. This is the clean palette for today, but it's already. Now, I'm just going to kind of distress up here. Now, I know what you're thinking, but this is what I mean. It's got to be a process. I saw a hair there. You've got to kind of embrace what it is that you're going for at this look. Right, I'm going to leave that just now because that's quite happily doing its own thing there. Right, okay, on to here. Now, this is a Made by Marley stencil. The Made by Marley stencils are coming out at the beginning of February. They're coming out at the beginning of February. They're coming 3 sets. This is the floral one of the Made by Marley set. So it comes with this one, this leaf one that goes with it. And you can put them all together. You can have trailing vines, you can have flowers and vines, you can have leaves just with it, you can have vines coming down. This will complement the chinoiserie set that's coming out as well. There's a chinoiserie set. So this and this. And the third one, because obviously they've been designed by me, has the border. I always like to have a border, and it's got these long ones if you wanted to do like up indoors like that, along here. Now my natural go-to would have been something like this, but I'm not. I'm using the big flowers. I do come back and use this one. I haven't used any of the leaves, although I could have done. You know, I could have had the leaves coming out. This is a really versatile stencil, but as I said, they're thick mylar. They've all been through rigorous testing. These are all out in the beginning of February, and I'm starting to use them now to get my head around them. But there's 6 sets, 3 in each set, and they're all different sets that, because I'm a furniture artist, these have been designed by a furniture artist, and these were a collaboration between me and my daughter, Jamie, who's a graphic designer, and I did the artwork, and Daisy and Jamie, well, Daisy's artistic as well, but it wasn't Daisy, it was Jamie. Jamie then made all this happen for me on a computer. So this is how they come.
The dream team.
The dream team. Right, okay. Daisy's incredibly artistic as well, but she's not going to follow that. She's wanting to be a psychiatrist, which is quite good because she can help me out on a daily basis. Right, okay. What I'm doing is, now you don't have to worry about your first pass with your stencil. You just need to pick some colours. So I've been kind of varying from the same colours that I showed you before, but I want a sort of darker navy. So that is... Do you know, I've got so many cans of paint on the go here. I had them all ready before I started. Right, okay. So this is the pink, the purple I mixed. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. Right. I'm going to take a little bit of this. Oh dear. Two's a kiss, Martin. Right.
Yeah, yes. Otherwise occupied at the moment. I'll give you one when you're finished.
Right, so I'm making a very dark purple to start with. Now, and I'm doing this flower and this one, but we'll start with this one first. So you don't have to worry on your first pass. This is you putting your background colour down. So let's just do that for a starter. And you can see me using the swirly twirly, although it's kind of irrelevant at this point, right? That's that one. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with my same colour palette, if I take the mustard, pop it here, and I use that light plum and I put it here, it should make a nice pink. Yeah. Now I can see, because I've mixed this with my stencil brush, I just need to do a bit of offloading over here. But as I said, the first one, don't need to worry about it too much. Now, just roughly like so. Yeah. I'm going to remove that, and what I'm going to do is, with the plum brush that I've just mixed up, I am going to roughly just paint that in, go back to my purple brush and do exactly the same, because we're going to come back over the top of that. So while that's drying, because you can see it's lifting slightly, the decoupage paper underneath gets, because as soon as the paper gets damp, it's going to lift, but it'll go back down. Now I want to turn this to this, I'll have it overlapping there. And now we need a different variation. So let's use this plum on this one. And it'll be lighter because there was already a little bit of plum on the stencil, and we've got the kind of rose, I don't know what colour you call it. It's a dusky rose pink is that one. And this is the plum colour that's gone round here, but it'll change a little bit with the dusky pink already on the stencil, right? So that, and then how about we do something like something yellow on this one. Let's really lighten this up and go for a sort of yellowy colour for this one. And I don't mind it blending into there like that. That's fine, because all the colours are going to be nice and cheerful over the top. Well, as cheerful as this palette is, it's a very interesting palette for me. Right, okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing again. Use the same brush and just sweep that into the stencil like that. Yeah, and I'm going to get this brush, and where did my paint go for this one? Oh, it was this one. And just sweep that into there. Now, while they're drying, let's get on with the rest of the sort of design, because there's an awful lot to this. And it's remembering how to do it all at the right times. Now, brushes are quite important for this. You're going to need, these are all the brushes I've been using, so I know which ones. This one here, it's quite big, this one, but just get a rag to dry my brush. And I'm going in with the original purple again, so the purple that is this colour, before I put the lighter colour. Okay. Right, okay, so we're going to go arc, triangle, arc, triangle. You need quite a bit of paint in your brush, and if you feel it's not moving, just add a little bit of water, because it'll help it move a little bit more. Remember, if you add water, it'll dilute the colour slightly. Arc. And the thing about Indian patterns is you really just have to almost dig in and do it. It's layers, and it just takes a little bit of time. And all I'm doing is kind of doing something funky around this edge. Arc, triangle, arc. Doesn't matter if you touch up against the white there, we can fix that little boo-boo as we go. So you get the gist. That's going to go all the way around there. Yeah? Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to get my mustard roller. I'm going to offload a little bit here. Now, this is where it all gets a little bit scary and a little bit real for you all, but we'll not worry. I'm using my roller width to do along here. This is going to give it that vintage, that antique look, that there was something there and it's worn off. Now here's a bit tricky. You're just going to kind of follow your line, and you want it to look worn, so don't keep going over and over and over it on it. Just let it be once you've got it kind of. Now the hinges on the other side, I have painted gold round here like this, and then meet them up. Anything I do on this panel will be exactly the same at the bottom panel. I'm going to need a bit more paint on that. It just gives it, when you go to put your stenciling over the top, it just gives it a nice look. And you've seen me do this many times. Right, I think I'm happy with that there. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to just stop the camera for a minute and quickly dry this off so that we can proceed with the next parts. Okay, 1 minute. Right, I've dried that off. Now, you don't have to be perfect to situate this over the top. Now, I'm going for not a painterly look. I'm going for I'm wanting to keep all the parts of my stencil on this design. You know, painterly would be different. You'd do these parts and then you'd rip it off and then you'd start blending it all in so it looked like an actual flower. But we want it to be like a bit more designy, like more like a pattern. So we're just going over the top of it with different shades. So now, with my purple brush that I stenciled that with, I am going to dip it in the cream paint, yeah? Take it over here to get a much lighter shade. And then this is going to go over the top of here. And I think, oh, don't want to move it. I think you're starting to get the idea of where all this goes. Just need a little bit more. Like that. In the center, I think I'm going to go with some of the yellow. So let's do... Now these do get brightened up. They're not hugely in your face. Right, next I'm going to be bold on this one. And I am going to... Down here I've got a hot pink lid. Just with some paint on it. I'm going to take this same stencil brush. And I'm going to take the hot pink. And I'm going to use the hot pink over the top of this. It's not going to be too obvious, this. Because I'm using colours from the same family. Right. And then let's just kind of roughly get that back where we think it's going to be. I think that's... Is it? Nothing like it. Yeah, I think that's a little bit more like it. I'm going to get my hot pink again, but this time I'm going in quite heavy with it, like that. And now with this pink brush, I've got some orange down here because I'm going to introduce little parts of orange into the design. So this should give us a sort of peachy pink. Keeping my orange more at the centre. Dipping my orange again. And then blending that out. I think I might just do some pink down there as well. And take that there. Now, happy days. Let's have a wee look at that. Right. These form the basis of our flowers. Now, while they're drying, because there's more to happen to this, we need to start. I'm going to have a wee kick in here just so I can remember what I'm doing. Right. Next, I've got, I think this is actually called ochre. I've got an ochre Posca. And it's okay to do things like this because, I mean, if not, you'd be here forever. And these pieces are time consuming at the best of times. I'm going to be doing this sort of shape along here. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm picking parts of the furniture that I know I can form a pattern out of. Just take your time. I'm kind of rushing because I'm on camera, but you know, enjoy the process of pattern painting. The monotony of pattern, I think, sometimes gives the brain a real good chance to just think about things in life as you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's what I think. It's good for you. I mean, there's the creativity part, but then there's the part where you almost don't have to think about what your brain's doing. It's just doing it. It's like driving when you get to the other end and you go, oh, how did I get here? Or maybe that's just me. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't be behind a wheel. But you know what I mean? You start thinking inside your own head and you go, oh, but it's like kind of like that with this. You don't really have to think about it too much. You're just doing a pattern. Whereas this is the creativity part. And if you break up the arty part with the patterning part, then it starts to come together quite quickly. So I've got that coming around there. Let me just have another wee look, because see, there's so much pattern on the other side. I'm going to have to probably reveal it soon just so that I can... Now, I need a brush like this, and I need my white, which is getting kind of mucky. See if I can steal the top of that. Once I've done that, I do this. Yeah. Now that these are relatively dry as well, I just water down some of this white. This is where I want to start to, now very sort of flowy and sort of kind of like painterly. Keep them really loose. And just kind of whoop round your flowers, giving them a little bit of definition. Something like that. I think that all the flowers on this are all different. You'll see that when I reveal the other side. Now this one's coming down over here like this. Oh, I can see I've got a little bit of lift there with my decoupage paper, so I need to make sure that I'll go back and fix that. I think I'll just do that like that. Now, centers. Now I do come back and put other colours on the centres of these. Now, so there's this. Now, next what we're going to do while everything is kind of drying is, let me just find all the pieces and parts of stencils that I had. Aha! We are going to be using this, and we are going to be doing this with the plummy. Yeah, there you go. There's an indicator of what colour we need. And kind of keep it like this. So this is going over the top of your distress that you put on the roller. Now, by the end of this, your stencil brushes will be all dizzy because they don't know what one they're going to be next. What should I do with that one? Here it is. So the plum again is the mustard and the berry together. Let's brighten that up with a little bit of pink. I'm keeping all my colours from either colours I started with or colours that all work together. Now, twirl around. Whip that off. It's a little bit bleed through there, but you're not going to see it, to be honest with you, because there's more going over the top of this. Of course there is.
Of course there is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to go much further than that. Right, okay, so this is going here, and it's also going here too. And I still think probably if you're watching at home, you're going, this is still a little bit iffy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the other doors now so that you've got a rough idea. I think I will do that one on there. Now, right, okay, let's have a little look at the other side. So this is how it's going to look. Yeah, so you can see I've done that, I've shown you that, I've shown you the spots. I've got the yellow on this purple band here. I just do the same sort of shape. It's just to complement this shape. It just goes around like this, right on the very edges, all the way around on that purple. Just gives it another bit of interest, like that. These here, I just did a spot. Sorry, Mary, I'm rocketing around here.
That's right.
No. And you need your white liner again for around this edge here. And that's our decoupage paper edge. And we're just going, just kind of definition for this. I think I need a bit more white on my brush. I'm leaning on paint here. I can't do that bit because I need to glue that paper down. Right, so you can see what's happening there. Yeah. Up on here needs to dry before, but what I did was I used this Annie Sloan stencil. I think it's a Mexican bird one, and I just taped off this flower, this pointy one, and it goes in the center of there. Around these edges of this purple, I've got some gold here, and it's got brush and the outline here with the gold. Don't want to do much more than that because my paint's not incredibly dry. Same down here. Now anything I do up this top part will be repeated down the bottom. And once I've done all of that, we'll come back and I'll show you how I did all the sort of these parts here where I added the blue and the tone and everything. But we need to kind of get the overall sort of design kind of concept done first. I mean, things like this are always going to be quite involved, and they're quite hard to film as well because, you know, there's so much to it. But I'm kind of rushing.
Don't rush.
I'm rushing through this. Just now, this is what I was saying to you about bleed through. I wouldn't beat yourself up about it just because it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. So you've got the gold there, and then what I did was, let me just see. Right, I took a sort of medium-sized brush, and I want some leaves on this one. So I'm going to do different colours because my flowers are quite light and they're quite. So let's just. No, I'm not. That's not. That would look a bit silly. So I'm going to dip back into my hot pink, which is in the lid. And I want to do some leaves. So where do I want the leaves on this side? Yeah, and here. And maybe a bigger dip in the orange and here. And here. And this just gives it another bit of interest. Maybe just some here. That's probably enough there. Right, these have all to be lined with white liner, like over there. So that's that. I can't put the purple on until that's dry. There's a little, I use my Posca to do a spot on the top of the gold. I don't know if you can see it. You probably see it
No, I can see it.
Here. And I've got more room and I'm not leaning on the paint. So you just come along and you do a wee spot here. kind of like think of all the sort of kind of Indian kind of parts. You could do more than one if you wanted to, if you had enough room. I'm really getting to the point where I think I should dry this off so that I can come back and line it and finish this top panel. Then I'll go away and do the bottom panel, and then I'll show you how to bring it all together to make it look like this. I've got purple dots, blue dots up here. Wait till I find a suitable brush. I keep cleaning the same brush because do you ever have a brush that is the one that you just like using? This is for this piece. It's this brush. This is the blue that I mixed up at the very originally when I painted the blue panels behind here, but I still kept it because I thought, no, something else will happen to these dots, but at this point in time, I haven't got that far. I thought I would just get the fronts done first. These are not quite dotty shaped, but it's because I'm working in a sort of, you know what I'm trying to say. It's a curved surface. Oh dear. Right. Along here like this. Like that to there. And that brings that the same. And up here is going to have, clean the brush again, although I don't think I want that one this time. I think I want this one. Up here is going to have, and I think I'm going to have to stand up to show you this properly, but it's that sort of shape up here. Now I'm just going to quickly dry this and we'll finish off this panel, and then we'll get going with I'll get going with doing the one underneath it, and then we'll come back and we'll pull it all together. But just let me quickly dry this. All right, we thought we were filming, but we weren't, and I was just filling in those leaves. It's just one continuous pattern, but what I'll do when I do down the bottom is I'll leave the leaves to the last minute, and I'll show you the leaves just so that you've got it all locked down. So we know where all our patterns are. We know where we're going next. The next thing we've got is the Mexican bird stencil, and it is purely just a hot pink. So let's just find a space on the mix mat. You might need 2 mix mats or a big bit of board for mixing all of this. Itchy face. And I'm only really doing the too much paint. I don't know what's wrong. My brushes were quite wet when I started again today, and what I'm doing is I'm avoiding every one along so that my stencil doesn't rub up against it, just to kind of let it dry a wee bit, as a top tip if you're kind of in a hurry. It's just starting to look good now because I've not got as much paint on my brush. And that's another reason why I was saying, you don't be worried if there's a bit of bleed through in this look. You don't know how faded the antique Indian piece of furniture is. Right, back up to here so that I'm not... Stenciling projects are so much fun, and it enables you to recreate so many different looks. I mean, really, I love stenciling. I just love it. I just love stenciling anything. And I know that there's transfers, and I know that there's decoupage, and I know that there's all these different things. But I think there's nothing beats a good stencil. But what makes it even better is a good bit of decoupage and a bit of stenciling. They work together really well, especially for hiding transitions and all those kind of things where you don't want, you know, that bit on show where you've blended or... Right, now, that's that. In the middle of all of those goes a white dot, which we can recreate quite easily by finding the right kind of brush. This one here. And I think that's me pretty much... Dry that in my trousers. That's terrible, isn't it? Now I want to wait till these dry, but I just want you to show you one with a white spot. helps if we get a nicer spot. Oh, that one isn't pretty either. Yeah, you can use the end of a pencil with a rubber on it, a cotton bud, whatever you want. I'm not going for that. Now, once you've done that, you're just going to line with your liner just to accentuate the gold and that Indian shape on the furniture. Yeah, like that. Centers of these flowers. All I did was I got my Posca, and I did kind of without much fuss or hassle. Just kind of going over where my stencil was, if I'm honest. Here. And in here. And then what I did was I just cleaned my brush and got some pink. And I just put some pink in between here like that. Can you see it's not so much spots, but we kind of splodges. Am I selling that? I know what I mean. Splodges, Matty.
Splodges.
Splodges.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, I need a wee bit more of my orange. Now, my orange is the Barcelona orange. I don't think I told you what that one is, but again, it's a Nanny Sloan paint. It's this nice, bright, clear, clean, bright orange. Now, I want to do something like this just so it looks something similar to the one over this other side. On this one, I just kind of did a little bit. I'll tidy that up a bit. And there we go. Do you know, I don't have anything amusing to talk about today either. I'm kind of in the zone. I'm listening to a book about elves. There's an elf war going on.
Just for a change.
Yeah. A couple of vampires thrown in, some goblins, and I'm away. And do you know what I always think when I listen to audiobooks like that? I always think everyone I ever listen to, it takes how many books, but every book is leading up to what, some big war at the end. Which when you're on Audible, sometimes you don't even get the war at the end because they haven't brought the book out. So I've got all these unfinished wars that I don't know, and sometimes I think I can't even remember what that book was about. Yeah, there you go. That's your amusement for today. Goblin Wars. Yeah, I'm just putting a wee bit of pink around it. I mean, with this, look how long this piece of string. This is a piece of artwork on its own. You can take forever. And if you wanted to turn this into a more realistic stencil, as I said, you still put your colour on the background, you put this part over the top, but when this part, the lighter purple is still wet, you'd get something like this, a nice round fluffy brush, and you start blending it to make it look like it's petals, keeping some of the dark underneath, and that's how you'd make it look more realistic and less kind of like stencil-y, sort of patterny. That's the word today. Right, so you've got, I think there's nothing else that I haven't shown you yet. I'll go and do the bottom half apart from the leaves. Yeah.
Just thinking, is
I've shown them.
There's a bit more stenciling in the corners, top corners.
Here?
Yeah.
No, that all has to come at the end. They need to have these two panels.
Okay.
You have to have that work done before you can come back with all of that, because there's a whole load of design and there's a whole load of dark in there as well to kind of give it the depth, but I can't do any of that right now.
But yeah, that looks pretty similar.
Now, see up here on this side, quickly just show you if I can find a brush that isn't wet, because every brush seems to be wet. How I made this look distressed is put the yellow back over it, but it needs another coat, you know, where I've tried to blend it out. Oh, that's quite thick. I wasn't wanting that, but you know, if you want it to look worn, just go over your original colour. Whatever you're trying to distress, just put the original colour back over the top of it and it'll give you that distressed look. sometimes you want it fully distressed, sometimes you want some of it showing through like it's just rubbed. Now, how that would in there would get rubbed, I don't know. I'm more about making it look realistic, but I don't know how this would have got rubbed. But maybe hands pulling the drawers in and out. Yeah, okay, we'll give it. I'll give myself a break there. Yeah, if you really think about it hard enough, I mean, you can give yourself a way of. No, can I get rid of that?
Apart from that, it looks cool.
Yeah, well, a minute.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Right. Okay. Happy days. That's how I did that. Now, back shortly, once I've done this panel, and then we'll start pulling this whole front together. And whatever you're kind of seeing on the front is pretty much, but in a different variation of what you're going to get the two top doors. So I might, by the time we've done this, get Martin to put a camera up for the doors.
We'll see. I don't mind filming.
We'll see how it goes. Okay. Okay, so I've done both panels and everything's all tied together. I didn't show you how I did these leaves, so I'm just going to show you quickly. I just made it one continuous sort of pattern round in a line like that. I mean, you can just do them like ordinary leaves and just to have your paint coming up like a vein, but I thought I would make these kind of patterned. It gives it another little bit of interest. And what you're doing there when you do that is you're tidying up all of those lines as well, which is kind of important. So just something like that. Right, okay, so I've done all the leaves. Now, I did say yesterday when we left that I'd come back and I'd show you how I'd kind of put the tone in it like I did here. So this is our door. Now, I've still got to show you the little pattern that I've done up across here on this drawer. And I put this purple with Posca pattern in here, and all that was a diamond and then a sort of yellow horseshoe like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, and then a pink horseshoe like that, and then a white dot here. And to finish it off, all I did was I just dipped my finger in it in the gold and just did a gold spot like that. And that's how. Now, this is something kind of that I want to talk to you about when you do something like this. The patterns will develop naturally. Once you start putting stencils on, just look at your gaps. And there was a natural gap that I could fit a diamond in there and continue the pattern along. Natural gaps really work. So again, when you're distressing it, if you think about the natural gaps. So I have here, oh, and I found a postcard in the back of a drawer, and it's from Paris, and it's written in French from the Louvre. And I've no idea what it says, but I'll take a photo of it, and if there's anybody French, they can tell me.
I'll take it
what
in between now and the next clip. I'll take it indoors,
Yeah.
translate it, and come back and tell you.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
So there you go. Yep. Look at the cars. So I think it says 85. Would that be right, Martin? 12 and 10th 85? No?
I don't know.
Not quite sure. But yeah, 1985 it says on the postmark there. So it's a fair whack away. Right. Okay, so fine.
I left school in 1985.
Oh, but you're old.
That was a long
You're
time.
ancient.
That was a long time ago.
Right, okay, so what I have here is I've got my big brush, and I'm going to put some gold in it. Now, it's important, like without any colours, that you offload it. Now, I was a bit naughty last night, didn't put a plastic cover over this, so I'm just kind of making sure I've got plenty of gold on it, but it is nice and dry, so it shouldn't be too runny. Now, this is another made by Marley stencil. So this is again out with the flowery stuff, and it's the border. Now, you don't have to worry at this point about it being tidy. It's the look you're going for. So I'm carrying that to there, and then what I did was I just flipped it on its side and did a bit down here. And you're literally just kind of going over it. Can you see how instantly that looks a little bit more distressed? I carried it on here. I can see what I've done. So I'm just going to bring this up a little bit and kind of put it roughly. And I haven't got a lot of paint on my brush. It's just enough to kind of give it that sort of distress look, and it kind of ties it together. Now, once I had done things like this, and obviously I've got, sorry Marty, I'm having to jump around.
That's right.
How do I want this? Yeah, I'll put it on this way. Doesn't matter that it's a start and a finish, and it's not, you know, that's not, don't need to worry about things like that too much. Now, this across there, and again, if I can just get it past that part of the hinge. Now the hinges I'm going to paint gold in a minute too, so round and round in a twirly motion, trying to leave some parts out if you can. That always looks a little bit better. And you can see what I'm doing now on the other side. You can't really, the gold doesn't really show up much. Let me just roughly try and join this together. But if we just do something like that, it doesn't look like it's gone to nowhere. This is kind of aging it all up. Once I've done that, if you just get, got so many different colours of paint on the go, a bit of a navy paint, and I think I just cleaned this brush, I did. I was just using a little bit of navy offload, because you do want quite a dry brush. And can you see, you can see it here on this side. I was just kind of darkening up in some of the sections of the gold like that, just to make it look a little bit more worn. It gives it a little bit more depth doing things like this. And you're just kind of picking out parts that kind of, you can see what I've done here with the darker shade. I've just kind of ran it in the inside of the gold line. That also gives it a look of it's been there, but it's no longer there kind of thing. Round here and in some of these shapes that kind of give it a little bit more depth. And the likes of up in here. And this is where you just start playing with it, and you can start aging it up. Now, I'm going to do this with the whole thing. What I did up here was I kind of cheekily just didn't really clean my brush much and just ran a little bit of paint. Sorry, pink, not paint. Of course it's paint. Just up in here like that. Kind of adds, kind of gives it a finish round it. It's a frame, so we're kind of like working in frames. I put these purple, I have found a lighter Posca, this colour here. That's what I did the diamond shape with. I found that to put spots there. So once you've kind of aged it up and you're kind of thinking, because I think I could maybe put a little bit of this dark on the other side of this line as well, because we are coming near the keyhole. So let's just kind of do something like that. I'm going to go all the way around there with that same stencil. Now, what else did I do on the other side that you haven't seen me do? I'm spending quite a lot of attention on doing it part by part on these two doors, because it's pretty much going to be the same thing all over. You just have to be kind of clever and use your stencils. And as I said, look for the natural places where you can put pattern. Now, gold. I'll find a brush that's going to be suitable for this. Now, you're going to have to, this is gold that I made up from with mica powder and sealer. So you're going to have to maybe give your metalware 2 coats if you're using this, because it won't cover it perfectly to begin with, but you just have to kind of, the other side still needs another coat, but it looks pretty. I'm just going right over that paint, and I need to kind of get up my knees to do the rest, but you just start giving these a coat of paint as well to bring out that lovely hinge. Same on the bottom down here. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. I'll finish that off camera in a minute, because I have to come beat up the side of the furniture as well, make sure that I've got the sides. So that, and I can see you want a sort of, now remember this will be the place that's kicked the most, so you don't want it solid gold. I would just put some paint on your brush and just run it along really quickly. There's a wee dribble there of paint that I've spilled, which I can fix in a minute, but it's just a kind of suggestion that it's been there, but it's maybe been kicked off. You don't need to have it solid. That's the look you're going for, remember. So that's how I'm going to fix that. Anything like that where you think there's been a little bit of a mistake, just get other colour of paint the paint colour it was and just get rid of it like that. It is messy and distressed, but you can't have colours dripping over that are not supposed to be there at the time. Right, okay, on that subject of spaces and pattern, I was standing over there going, there's a space here when they are, and these two at the sides, and I thought, what have I got? I thought I might do this on this centre. Now, this part here of the wood is actually the centre. This is still part of this side of the door, but the centre will be here. So we're working on the centre. It has to be kind of reasonably centred. So I'm thinking that there's pretty good. Now, I will be going around this in Poscas to kind of highlight it, but I think I'll do it in the navy to start with. So let me just get a stenciling brush. I've got so many stenciling brushes on the go. Pop that there for a minute. And just offload my navy over here. I'm working at the end of a can of this Annie Sloan Oxford Navy, so it's very dry anyway. It's very crusty, so it should stencil quite well. I want it, if I do it a really dark colour, it means I can design it with Poscas over the top, because it's quite a big open stencil, this one. It's not very complicated, so let's just see. I think this is what I'm saying about pattern. You'll see the natural, when you start stenciling and getting into stenciling, you'll see where the natural pattern is. And you think, well, I can fill that with something. And the thing about Indian design is you can do as much and over and over. Not too much that it gets too muddy and you can't actually see where you've been. Because I have seen, that happen. But enough that you can work with it. Right. Like that. Actually, I might not even mess around with that too much. I think that just kind of going back. Now, I need a half of one up here. So I think I'm just going to push it in up there and see, hope for the best. And it's actually going over that border that we just put all the time doing, but we know it's there, and it'll be through the pattern, which will make it even more layered. Sometimes it's counterintuitive. You do stuff and you paint over it, and I think that's why some people struggle with layers, but layers give it depth. Yeah, I mean, this is really bringing it together now. And I'll do the other half down here, and obviously I'll do one here too. Yeah, that finishes pretty much the front. The top cupboards are going to be the same.
Natural.
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. The top cupboards will be pretty much the same deal as I really like this. I might actually just keep it this dark because it looks pretty good. I need to stand back and look at it, but I think I'm liking this. It's kind of pulled it together. I don't know if it translates on camera, but for me, it's pulled that whole design together on the front, and it's not now two different panels. It's more one design, which is nice. The top blue, I'll be doing these flowers, but I'll be doing them down the way instead of across the way. In the white, I don't know. I might do something in the white. The mustard will have this triangle with the same design as this, so it's just the same. And I've still got up in the purple up here to put my original, this one that I distressed this with, to do. So I'm unclear. Shall we put a camera up, Martin, just so they can see? I'll put a camera up.
You can do one and then show them the other.
Show them the other one. Okay, well, I'll do one and just run you through the next one, I think, with bits and pieces that I've still got to do. I think that's the way to go. Now, the drawer, now I've not done anything with the insides of the drawers yet, but I will. The drawers are pretty straightforward. I got that, the lightest sort of lavendery purple. Now you're just doing one straight line, and then you're going do. And I'm using Poscas, and these are the 5M tip. I find with bigger pieces of furniture like this that the 5M tip will give you, it'll give you more impact than the thinner tips. The thinner tips are for maybe for a wee bit more detail. Again, this is a 5M and this is a raspberry. And I'm just doing a spot underneath here, like this, all the way along. And I used a yellow, funnily enough, for the dot up here. That's just the join of the 3 little lines coming down like that. And on the blue, I used the raspberry again, and I did spot in the middle, all the way along like that. Now the bottom of the drawer, I took the same yellow. Now you can keep it as simple or as complicated as you want, and I'm just keeping these ones quite simple. So I'm just going up and around, up and round, up and round, up and round. And your muscle memory kind of takes over. I mean, I do so many kind of patterns that I'm kind of used to it. But if you think this is going to be a wee bit too tricky for me, then just use a stencil. It doesn't matter how you get here. It just matters what the end result is. And just use everything you can available, or a stamp, or you could use a furniture stamp. And in this part here, I just went do, which is the same as above, but upside down, if you know, if you know what I mean. Like a little kind of flourish like that. And this, when it dries, is very muted. It's quite bright right now and it looks like it's the wrong colour for the furniture. But remember, yellows and purples are the opposite on this colour wheel, which means that we know that they already go. Now, I haven't finished the drawer, but I'll give you a wee look of how the half that I have done looks. So this will carry on all the way along. And it's good because see any of the thin pieces of detail we have up there, like that purple there, we can make the opposite of that there on there. Once you've done, this is why I'm putting all the effort into doing my front, because when this front is done, then you have a myriad of different patterns that you can pull out for the rest of the furniture because you've used it before. Everything you'll have used before, which means you can use this pattern or this one or this one or this, or, you know, and just pull it all the parts together, remembering each piece is a frame. That's how you do it. So
I was really unsure about this purple at the beginning. When you said purple, I was really unsure, but
yeah,
I think this is one of my favorite pieces that you've ever done so far. I love it.
It's very therapeutic as well.
If we had the space for this in the house, I'd be saying keep it, but we haven't.
Do you know, Evie said that. She said, I bet you end up keeping it. I said, we have no room for it. And anyway, you got to keep the clock. You can't keep everything.
Yeah.
I think this being an antique piece of furniture in the beginning and me doing an antique sort of Indian finish on it, I think it will have a high value. And that's what, you know, it's all about. It's about, the thing is, this isn't like hand painting and you're there for days. The good thing about these is the stencils do a huge amount of work for you. So although they're a little bit monotonous, it's relatively quick once you get going. I mean, it's pulling together relatively quickly. And as I said, just be mindful if you start using stencils on the natural gaps, because I really do think right now that this is really working. So it just shows you, you know, the natural gaps. And I'm not going to put Poscas over them, mainly because I think it's pulling it together, but it's pulling these out. This looks part of what was there before. There will be sanding and everything involved in this, and a bit of distressing at the end, where we'll either be doing it with paint or I'll either be doing it with sandpaper and a scraper. There will be an amount of distress because it still needs, you can't have it too slick. So all the bits that's hand painted is not too bad, but where I've used these stencils in the middle, they're all just a little bit too tidy. So there'll be things like that we'll have to do at the end. But apart from that, that's where I'm at. I'll go and do this door, and I'll do two of those little doors up there. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll actually just do half this piece of furniture on my own, and then I'll come back and we'll do this half together. Okay? Okay, so I said I'd come back and we'd kind of talk through the top. I'm going to try and do something different today. I'm going to try and work on this window and this one at the same time. This stencil here is this little stencil here. This one here. which went into the tops of the drawers up in here. It's never a good idea to introduce.
This is the one you were pointing to, yeah?
Yeah, this here. What I did was I just kind of moved it around to give it that distressed look. Once I'd finished doing that, I got my gold brush on its side and just went like that. And then got a liner brush and just brushed gold down in those seams. That's what happened up there. The same arc pattern that is in the whole design. This isn't even started yet. I've just kind of got to this point. This frame here now is finished. So now I'm going to recreate it over on here for you guys. The same stencil that I'm holding, this one here, went down these edges. And again, I got my big stencil brush with loads of gold on it, rubbed down the edges and just rubbed the gold down to here. Now, down below is done. This side, on this side is done. And I'll do a panel. Well, I'll do a panel that pretty much, I don't think see the point in showing you the sides because it's pretty much what you're seeing. All it is just linking all your patterns together. So now I'm going to show you me linking everything together. I think that is the plan. Okay, so forgive me if I'm rattling around like a demented squirrel. It's just that everything is in here. If you're going to balance your paint on top of your finish, please make sure that you cover it with everything. Now, I haven't done up in here yet anyway, so I'm not too bothered about it, but it's always good to do that. Here, can you see the messy parts here? See these gold parts here and here? I'm leaving those. These are all fine. There's nothing in that look that gives me an eye twitch as yet. So I've got to cut. This is the only new stencil that I've introduced. If you're going to introduce one, you have to make sure that it goes other places. So because I was looking for something that fitted just nicely into this gap. So I did this here. Now I still have to, I don't want these spots. These will have to get rid of, and I'll have to have clean paint to get rid of those. But this is the same stencil that comes with the kit, the Furniture in the Box kit. And I've got many of them. So I was able to cut it into a shape that would enable me to work into these. Now, ignore this one because I was in a bit of a rush and I overloaded my brush with paint. But I'll show you this time how to do it actually properly. So you're just swirling and twirling. And anything that goes wrong on the white, we can just come back and repair with the white. And that's all we're doing in here. I don't want those little white spots, so we can just paint those out. And it should look like that. I'll paint these out, and I'm going to paint that whole one out. There's messy, and that's not what we're aiming for. Now, I'm putting them along here. Why? Because my handle's going to go right back centre in this lotus flower. So I thought that was a good way of kind of keeping myself on the straight and narrow. Is this right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it went further up on the other one. I know what I did. I did that. Right, okay. So again, swirling and twirling around here like that. And the same, try and line up my little, where my handle's going to go here. Like that. So that's that. Now what next? I want something to tie it together, and I don't have any white up in this section as yet. So I want a shape I can go around. So going through my colours, which you have to keep doing. I've got an awful lot of brushes on the go here. I might need another one just to add to the pile. This one here. This is the same yellow I mixed up right from the very beginning. It's getting nice and thick now, which is perfect for stenciling, but it's not so good for painting with. So just going to make it a little bit runnier. Now, there's a little bit of me right now that says maybe it's a good idea to whip out the drawers as I go along, only because now I'm just going to stick a pair of scissors in here into the hole to remove these. That's a wee top tip. Oh, actually, I think that's where my scissors keep getting lost. It is. I've been looking for scissors and I wondered where they'd gone.
There's a brush up there as well.
Yeah. So we're going to do this shape. All along here. This is what I mean. It's now just shapes and patterns. And if you can do shapes and patterns, you can do this look easily because most of the work is done with your stencils. I'm just trying to get as many parts to show you that I'm pulling together as I can. Whoop. Let's see what they look like lined up. Put them back in just now. Right, I need to let them dry before I can go around them. What was I doing up here? Clean my brush. It's the same shape. So, put off on that bit of paper. Get some pink paint. Add a little bit of water to it. Make sure it's thick and it won't run, but it's malleable enough that you can use it. And find somewhere to anchor your hands, and it's the same circle like this. Oh, that is a mistake. You want to be getting rid of things like that. And all I've done is I've put this pink shape along here like that. I then go back over it with a white liner. I'll do all the lining parts in a minute. I just want to, up here, what did we do up here? Okay, so let me just rattle through everything to try and find what I'm looking for. So, I mean, this needs to now have a good soak. Can I just give you a top tip about stencils? If you're using the stencils over and over again, now I'm not too worried about this stencil because this stencil is one of many that I have. However, take it into your paint sink, lean it, wet your sink and stick it onto the side of your sink, your wet stencil like this. Then get a dish brush, nothing too, like I use a nail brush, it's not too heavy. And then what to do is dip it in some washing powder. And once you've got washing powder on your brush, soak your stencil and start scrubbing, and all of that will come away. The roughness of your washing powder will start taking it off and it'll be clean in no time. I have been washing these repeatedly for the last 4 or 5 days. So, you know, and I got tired yesterday and I just left this one out here, but I'm nearly at the end of this now and I don't think I've got any more of this one to do. And I think that was apart from up here, which, you know, made me think about it. Okay, so I'm going to need some more gold because I used all my gold up. I'll just mix this up on here as well. It's just a little bit of Liquitex medium that I'm putting in there, but you can just use your top coat. And I just need a little bit of gold. Just mixing up enough that I can finish the piece with, really. Like that. Where's my big... I'm just going to mix it with my big gold stencil brush. Oh. Now, offload. Quite a bit. Stick that there. I'm just going to use this bit of paper. Now, where is it? Here it is. This little point is just this little point on here. All I did was align the base of the stencil up onto here. And kind of have hands like an octopus. This is why I'm saying you can use all your pieces and your parts or stencils. I just did this the last time. I can paint that bit out. That is a mistake. You'll soon get to recognise what you're keeping and what you're saving. Then what did I do? I got white Posca, wherever you may be. Is it this one? Don't know. And then it's 3 dots. So 1, 2, 3. I don't want to do too much of this because I'm going to have to come around and clean that up. But that's what I did up there. This has the white liner around it. And in the centre of that, it has the lilac-y purple with just this shape in the centre. Yeah, just in case you can't see it. So that's going along there. This blue line, I'm really nearly running out of blue now, but I've probably got enough just to finish off the distress. You need a little bit of this to pull together because there's blue down there. You need a little bit of blue up here, and I'm not painting it all in solidly. I'm kind of making it look like some of it's worn off. So I'm going along here. I have to maybe put a little bit of water in it. Too much water. I'm really, really nearly at the very last of this now. And I don't want to have to mix up more. And that will join onto the blue line that, it runs around the sides. Oh, I missed there about 3 times. Yeah, I think I'm liking that. Right, so that's blue. I also touch around the cupboard doors with this blue as well, so we better keep enough for that. Right, okay, so this part here is the same shape. This is what I mean. It's not complicated, it's just shapes. This shape's going all the way around the door frame. Like that. So you know that shape. Next shape. Oh, using the same pen, I still have to line out my flowers like here. These need, you know, the liner, but we can do that in a minute. You want a sort of shape like this, I think. Now you can hand paint this if you don't have Poscas. I'm just being, you know, you can imagine there's an awful lot of work to this, and so I'm giving myself a little bit of a break. If you're not good at kind of just doing what I'm doing, because these are not perfect, what to do is just make yourself a little template out of a cereal box, and then you can draw the shape on. I'm gonna have to move this. It's getting tighter and tighter to work. I think I can down. Like that. And all of that meet up, I'll do round there. So once I did that, I got the same lilac, and you can see what I mean about once you've got your pattern going, it's just variations of the same thing. So a V again, because there's a certain thing that I do semicircles, I do this sort of pointy shape, I do V's, and I do 3 dots. 3 dots are like, so that's going to be like that. Then I got my Posca and I did my 3 dots. So one big, like that. That one there could be a wee bit bigger. So that goes around there like that. This shape here, you find somewhere to lean on, has white Posca in it.
Oh, sorry. Did it again. Sorry, everybody. I was too busy looking at what you were doing. My hand sort of wandered away. I was looking down there with the camera.
At my feet?
Well, nearly.
You get awfully engrossed in it, Martin.
I do. I should just stare at this.
Do you know what it is, though? I don't know. It must be like this for you when you're doing it, but I find anybody doing any kind of pattern really therapeutic.
Yeah.
So when you see somebody else do it, you can't help but stop and stare. I mean, I do it. Right, so that's going to go around there like that, and there's a white spot in here that we're going to do. I'm going to do. Now, what else? I noticed that I forgot this part. Let me just see if I can find it. I did wash this one. See, I have actually been washing them. You'll notice there's a little chunk out of here. The chunk out of here is because it was so I could do what I'm about to show you. Now, I need to tape it again because it came out of the paint sink yesterday. I'm just taping it off just so I don't get a huge amount of bleed through. I'm just getting rid of that, and there. Now, pink stencil brush. Shouldn't I just done that up here? Oh, that's not the right one. It's It's this one here I'm wanting. It's a little one. Come on, Leo. Hands like monkey's feet. Right, okay, now this is, I'm sure there's easier ways, but this was quite tricky, but I just kind of went for it. Now you can see, I'm not really lining any of this up. I don't have a rough place of where I know it's going to go, and I'm just putting it there. For the people that are perfectionists, I'm not 100% sure whether a sort of kind of Indian layered look with a bit of distress will get you out your comfort zone and you'll think, right, I think it might be quite good. It's always good to do something that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. However, this does not make me feel uncomfortable. It just makes me go, oh, I've got more pattern to do. And I'm all in West Enemy because I go away and then come back and go, oh, I'll just do a wee bit of Posca along there, which means you have to do the whole piece of furniture. I think you're getting the drill on these little pink stars. I thought that just made something of that. So that's going round there. Right, okay. Next, so we've done this, shown the white line, spots, stars. That's going to have the white thing. We are going to just quickly line here.
How did you do that so fast?
All right. I mean, you can do whatever you want when it comes to these, really. I mean, have that like that. Around the centre. I'm only doing this because that's the nod to the front. You have to keep it all sort of, I could do with some bit more colour in it. Right. So that's been done as well. A little bit of something there. I mean, I'll fiddle with this off camera. It's not my life's work. Right, so that's that. When I see all that's done, I've got to paint this one out and then do the other ones down on there and fix these mistakes. Mistakes fixing is reasonably uncomplicated. You just get a brush with the colour that you're wanting and just go over it. You don't want to do it too much because remember we only put one coat of the white on because we wanted that distressed look. Like that. I think this might be, I'm scared to put paint over it in case it's still damp. Right. Away. I can see here though, I'm working with multiple tins of paint.
See where?
What? What you see?
See where? I said, you said I can see here though. I was like, I'm thinking,
where's she going?
I better be ready, but I don't know where.
I'm just mixing up some of the pinky cerise purple because I can see that's where I rubbed up the paint and I didn't like it, and here as well. Any fixes, which are fixes.
On the inside of this, that side of it as well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, that's going to get worse before it gets better. Right. Okay. I think I've shown you how to complete this panel, but we need to work on this anomaly up here, which I'm not quite sure about. It's still, for me, there's not enough white on it. So I was also trialing a bit down here where I painted the inside of this down here white. I don't know if you can see it. It's messy just now, but because I thought it just broke it up a little bit. Don't know, still fiddling around with this. What have we got? Because this is where you can pull from everything else that you've had. And I don't want to use this because I've used it. About the big one? The big one of these. Yeah. Yeah. Right, hang on. Take this off. And I think I'll use a sort of a kind of lavender. Yeah, I just said lavender, Evie.
Did you not like lavender?
Evie doesn't like lavender. No. I said the word lavender to her recently, and she said, not lavender. Right, so put that down there. Let's find a... My stencil brushes have had to work for their... I am just going to take this and put it into this white over here and make a lavender. Set that down, that might help. I want a little bit lighter. I've got enough lavender to go around the moon and back. Water. Stencil brush. Offload. One of the pairs of scissors. Open the doors up again. I think as well this drawer could do with a little bit more, possibly gold on it. I don't know. Let's do a row of... Let's just put like stars on it. Maybe half on, half off. Because I could put gold centres or something in them. Whoops, that one moved. This is made a kind of, was obviously the colour of my brush. It's made that sort of dusky pink, which is fine because it's still in the context of what I'm doing. So, here, 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 and on the edge there. Right.
Holding the stencil in place with your head.
Yeah, well.
Don't have enough hands, so use your head.
I've done all sorts of things with my head. Right, let's see how that looks. Oh, that's pretty cute. Now, I think I'll maybe outline them. I need to do Poscas in here. I'm going to outline this pink flower in white as well. I'm going to go round here in one of the, probably the lavenderish. This one here, the sort of violet, would we say? Are we saying that's violet? I don't want to do it in case.
What does it say on the pen?
Oh, well, that might help. It's lilac. Well, I don't know if that's showing up over much.
No, I can see it.
Yeah, well, it's lining it, and we'll put something in the centre. Yeah. Now, where do you opt for brushes and where do you opt for Poscas? I want to go in between this flower, but I would opt at this stage for a brush as opposed to a Posca because it'll be too heavy. So I just want to do... Oh, I should have started off a bit straighter. Like that. Something like that, Matty.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. I think that's probably nice, and it's nice and light. It's not too heavy. If I'd done that with Poscas, this is the thick Posca, and that's how that would look. Too thick a line. However, we will do, because this is our nod to our sides, we will do this along here. Like that. Now, this is probably, I need to fix that actually. This is probably the longest piece of filming on. Right, okay, yeah, maybe let's just do you know what? My son Charlie just came in from school and he said, "Oh wow, Mum, is that a Willy Wonka piece of furniture?"
I suspect he was just being facetious.
I wasn't sure what to say. I went, what do you mean Willy Wonka? And he went, you know, the purple. I went, just because it's purple doesn't mean it's Willy Wonka. Right, I can see where this is going. I need to finish this off. I think I'd like some gold, and I think I'll probably put my gold. I don't want to do it yet because these are not dry, but I'm going to put some of that gold in the centre of those. I need to tidy up here, here, and this bit here with my purples. And they are not difficult things, the tidy ups. I mean, you just saw me do it before, but
this is lush.
In a minute, I'm going to get you to show them the sides, because the sides are similar but different. I'm going to use some of this and some Annie Sloan's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is the other side like this as well?
It's nearly. I've got the top panel to do, but I'll show them the variations right there.
Well, I can get a bit of an angle on this side here if you want to show it to them.
Yeah, okay. I was just fixing those fixes. So the sides, I'll move it down later and show you, but it's pretty much the same deal, but it's in bigger form. And up in these gaps, I used the circular stencil that I used on the front. So that brings the bit of the front into the play and the sides. There was nothing new used on this, the same sort of pattern I did there. I've still got to, I've just noticed I haven't put the white line around these flowers, but this has all caught up, because I mean, even the part at the top, excuse me, has been done. So I've got this part here and this door to finish. Downstairs is finished. I've got the other, I mean, Matt, you can see the whole panel from this side.
Yeah. Oh. I have a feeling I might just, no, it didn't.
No.
It was a bin.
That's the panel, how it looks, the bottom panel. I just put the two flowers together like that. This panel here is, I've got most of it done. I just need to start doing the stencil work and the design. And this looks exactly the same as the other. And this is what I was saying about just distressing it with gold down the edges, distressing it with the gold there, putting a little bit of a dark shadow in it. So this side is done. So I really only have this, this door here. I will get Martin to come back in a wee while. Oscar's sleeping at the moment, so I don't know how much I'll get done, because I want to do something in here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do this with a gold, where I did the gold, I put gold behind here with my gold stencil, with the one that forms the whole, you know, over the purple, the Annie Sloan one. I'll put gold in here, yeah. And then what I'll do is I'll use that big, this shape here, the big one. I'll put the shelf in and I'll do it. Now, controversially, I have the shelf over here, and I think I'm going to keep this wood. I'm going to clean it up and moisturize it a little bit, but it's a bit of the original piece of furniture, and I just think I want to keep a bit of the wood on it. It's a wee bit gnarly, but that's okay. I don't mind gnarly. So I think I'll see how it looks when it goes in. If it doesn't look like it's going to work, well, it's not going to work. Now, we've done all of this, and we still haven't talked about the horror story that's going on inside it. What I did was, I've done lots of pattern. Now, bear with me here. It's a very random what I'm about to do, but I thought if it had been a proper Indian antique, there would have been lots of more sort of pattern inside, but it probably been quite mismatched. And you just needed to see what happened to it in the UK with all that paper and stuff. So I thought I'll get a whole load of patterns that necessarily don't go together, or actually even really go.
Where's the postcard?
Oh, the postcard. Remind me to sticky post it me to tell you about the postcard.
I'll bring it when I come back. Next piece of
We translated the postcard.
I did.
So these are the sort of patterns that I've made to go inside it. So that is kind of relatively like the front. So I've got those, some of that I thought was quite nice, and some of this. And I'm just going to mix and match it inside. My hope for the inside is that it's fresh, clean, and sealed. That's what it will not be pretty. There will be wrinkles in the decoupage because there's paper I can't get off inside of it. It will not be beautiful, but I'll do one of the cupboards maybe. I'll maybe get Matt to put a camera up and do one of the cupboards, because I already think I'm not sure how many hours this is. I mean, I've been at this for four or 5 days, so not solidly, so I'm thinking there must be an awful lot of footage, but a lot of it I've done by myself. But if you know how to do one panel and then think, right, that stencil fits in there. Oh, and I've got another stencil that'll fit in there, and can do just a basic hand pattern, this is not out of the realms of a beginner. I really mean this. This is not something that, it's just about layering in. I think the only reason that maybe a beginner might struggle is having the confidence to just throw stuff at it like I do. But I think if you get past that struggle and the perfection of the distress.
Most of it's stencils with outlining and just repetition of
There's no hand painting really in this, to be honest with you. It's all stencils, and where it hasn't been stencils, it's a simple shape like that and Posca pen. There's nothing difficult about it. It's just knowing how to put it together. And obviously, if you don't like purple, I mean, I wouldn't say I was ever really a purple lover, but I do like this. I really like this. But you could just swap out all the colours. For whatever colour I use there, just swap your colour out. I mean, I've done looks like this. I've never done anything that looked like this, but with my Indian finishes, like, so you could do blacks and greens and ochres, or you could do hot pinks and turquoises, you could do oranges and greens, or oranges and blues. The sky's the limit, and just keep it to a very limited colour palette. My colour palette is very limited. There's not much to it, and my Poscas were just what I had. So I'm going to finish this, finish that panel, get Martin to come back to do this middle bit, and I'll do one cabinet maybe with a camera up of me trying to mismatch it and make it. I want it that when it's opened up, people go, oh wow, that's unusual. You know, like that kind of look, as opposed to she just came along and got lots of mismatched bits of paper and it looks rubbish. So
I don't want to sell this one.
You don't?
I love it.
We don't have a single piece of room in the inn.
I know. But when it
Is this wider than the egg cupboard?
When it's no, not really. No. When it started, I was like, "That's weird. It's really low." But now I'm thinking, because of its height,
plants,
just loads of plants along the top of it, and a bit of height and a bit of hanging over and things, and it's gonna.
Oh, you're actually selling it to me now?
Yeah. I think it would, because the height to begin with, I was like, it's a bit weird.
I still have to paint up the top, by the way, and the top I'm just going to be using the Annie Sloan's rod mail, just the rod mail by itself, not the darker one I mixed up, because I'm going to need this dark one for the inside of the doors. Well, one's dark, and what you can see by the tops, dark and light. So anyway, I will think on Martin about room if we could keep it, but I mean, you've got to keep the clock.
It's that thing, tugging at the heartstrings kind of thing. We're a business. We're supposed to sell these things, but we keep keeping them.
We're worst business people in the land. I think you sold me with the plants. I'm like, oh, my plants.
All along the top.
All along the top.
Some hanging over the side, down the sides and things. Some of your big brass, like things like that.
Lanterns.
Lanterns,
yeah. Yeah, you could put lanterns up the top.
Oh. Yeah. Loads of greenery and.
Maybe I'm just selling it for somebody else. If you want this piece, just let me know. Let me know before the end of the video, before it gets moved into my house. Right, okay. I'm away just now to get this done. Okay, so now I'm decoupaging inside it all, and I'm just going to show you. It's so simple. What I've got here is a mix of PVA glue. This is the last lot I've got here. PVA glue, a little bit of water, and quite a amount of my top coat sealer, because I want to clean it, seal it, trap it in, and make it wipeable all at once, if you know what I mean. So all I'm doing is applying this on all the nasty parts, making sure that I've got plenty on, like that. Getting my paper, putting my paper in, and literally smoothing it down. And I've done the whole, these drawing pins are everywhere. I've done the whole piece in exactly the same way. I've just pieced it and parted it together. I did say at the beginning, no matter how much I tried, I knew that it was going to be wrinkly because of what was underneath it. So, but some of it's smooth, like these are smooth. Some of it's smooth, some of it was really rough to begin with. So it's the best I can kind of do. But as far as I'm concerned, the goal is to make it clean, fresh, wipeable, and reset it. So then what I was going to do with not much, go over the top of that, just so that you know that that's sealed. By putting your top coat sealer in the PVA, you need a bit of water in it. That means it's varnished as well. It's just literally your own homemade Mod Podge, but you can make it up in great big large quantities. I made this much up to do the whole thing. So that's what I'm doing in the shell. So they've been done. What else have you missed? I finished off up here with my stars, and I put a tiny little bit of, I had a thin gold liner, and I've outlined those. Whoa, that could have been dangerous. Up here has been done. Yeah. And down here has been done. I'm in the middle of doing these panels here and making them look old, you know, when they get all stained. And downstairs has all been freshened up and cleaned up. This one here is the work in progress, which I've got to go back to. I'm in the middle of doing this one, but it's all clean, everything. Now the drawers have all been done as well. Push that cover in. All the drawers are exactly the same. They all have the same decoupage paper and same pattern all the way along. They've been done as well, and I put a little bit of detail in there just so that the drawers are a little bit open. That was quite spicy, right? Okay, now, lastly, we are really, really nearly on our last legs. So I'm just got the last lap, not our last legs. That's not good. Now, I bought these handles. I got these ones here. Yeah. These are the bigger of the two sets. These are natural wood. They've not been coated. These ones here are smaller, but these have got a coating on, but it doesn't matter whether they've got a coating on or not. Now, I need to be very careful. I've put out a bag here because I thought Martin will see, where are all the screws? Because once I've had my hands on something, it's like the Bermuda Triangle.
It's a true story.
So I'm putting all of my wooden handles that I'm not using in a bag. Ziplocked. Right, okay. So this acrylic is going to play a heavy part on it. Now, what I will say at this part is, you do not have to do this. This is just me doing this. You can stop now.
Yes, because now doesn't know where to stop.
Because all I'm going to say is, now we're distressing it. And if you look down at the front of here, you can see where I've done it. Seems a shame you're putting a whole load of pattern on to distress it back, but you're just brightening it up with the distress, because this is the lighter sort of mustard. So I'm just brightening it all up with that. How am I doing it? I'm not going crazy. This is acrylic paint. It is ochre, I think it's just called.
Yep.
It's not burnt ochre or anything, it's just ochre. I thought yesterday when I opened it, I thought, oh, I could eat that. And then I went, maybe I won't. But, right, so distress. It all looks a little bit too perfect. So let's just kind of start giving it something to worry about. It just takes this sharpness, the polishness of where your stencil has been. Now, I don't want too much of this. I really don't. I know I always say that, but I don't. I think maybe that's enough on that door. I really like these. So I don't really want to do too much on here. So just a kind of wee bit of a suggestion of it.
Just a wee hint of a...
Just a hint of a distress on there. Just slightly, just moderately.
Oh, yeah, that's a hint, yeah.
Moderately distressed. I told Martin my kitchen was minimalist, and he thinks that's very entertaining.
Which is hilarious.
It's minimalist for me, though.
Evie, what do you think? Do you think it's minimalist?
Don't. Answers on a postcard. Right.
The postcard!
Oh, we've not finished yet. Don't worry.
We'll do it at the end. I've translated the postcard.
The postcard.
It's funny.
The postcard is well funny. So again, just a little bit of this. I think I will take some of it onto this purple, but you don't need to. If you do it on one side, don't necessarily do it on the other, if you know what I mean. So because I've got this on this side, I wouldn't, my natural inclination isn't to come along and do it on there. Let's just do a little bit up in here because that looks a little bit contrived. And then the rest of it, to be honest with you, is, oh, I quite like that.
Still got to do the top bit on the end there.
What top? I know. I thought that the other day because there's people who watch my videos and if it's not quite right, they go, you missed a spot. There's a spot missing. There's a spot missing, or, you know, they can see, whereas I've stared at it for days and days and I I like that. I'm not going to lie. Right, okay. I don't think it needs particularly anything here, but let's just...
Do it anyway.
Now, this is pretty much... I've already put it along there. I've got the sides to do when it comes to this, but that's what I'm going to be doing with my acrylic. I'm just going to move this because I will knock it over. Now, next thing. So I got my mustard acrylic you've just seen, and I painted all my wooden handles. And what I'm going to do is I take these into the kitchen and I'm going to do a wee design on the handles that will complement. So the big ones are going here. These little ones are going up on here. I picked little ones because then it's not taking away too much from the lotus. These are going along here. And they're going down the bottom. Why am I keeping picking different ones up? They're all the same size apart from the little ones. So that's them there. They've had a coat of acrylic. These will be spray sealed once and I'll be painting these just with paint pens. I won't be using a brush or anything. So let's just move these little beauties out the way for a minute because I don't need these either. Because we're slowly getting there now. I have my gold paint here for a reason. And I want to set it on there so it doesn't go everywhere. I'm going to be using... There's another one of those pins. They're everywhere. Everywhere. Layers and layers of paint. Paper and paint and drawing pins. So you know what I did in here? The same as I did on the front. Up in here, what I did to prep it was I just got my roller. I put some of the yellow, which... finished off all of that yellow I had, which was quite good. And, well, not yellow, the sort of light mustardy colour. And it was a little bit too much distress, so I just came back in with the purple I mixed up myself and Annie Sloan's Ron Mel, and I just dumbed it down a wee bit just to make it less bright. Now, you can see there's a shelf thing that the shelf rests on here and here. I want this circular stencil to pretty much... I was wondering whether I could maybe fit two in. Yeah, but I'm going to have to give this a wee bit of a slice. That's okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with cutting your stencils, and I'll tell you why. People think, oh, but it's so close. If you have to put it anywhere, just put a bit of masking tape on it and extend it out again. You're not losing anything. If anything, you're making them a wee bit more practical because there's a whole load of space here that I don't actually need. So, there we go. Bye-bye. Now, I'm putting this in here. This isn't going to be easy to film, I don't imagine. How are we finding this?
It's not too bad.
It's not going to be easy to do. Right, so I'm taking the gold. And what I'm going to do, what my sort of general plan is, it's going to come out a little bit purple for a few minutes because I didn't clean my stencil. Because that's how I was feeling. Now, again...
Sorry about the lighting in here. We're inside a cupboard, so there's not much I can do about that.
It's just kind of, it's not going to be hugely in your face, this. I think there's enough. I think we can all agree there's enough on this without too much more. So it's just a kind of nod to the front. So this is going to go here in this gap, and I'm going to carry, oh, this would maybe be a better angle. Wait a minute. Is this good here?
Not really, but it's good enough.
I'm sorry. Right, well, it's just to kind of show you, because when I put the shelf in, those little star-busted shapes will sit above the shelf. Now, that's where they're going to go. So everywhere around where the shelf is going to lean on that little part of wood. Now, remember, the shelf's a natural dark wood shelf at the moment. I think I'm keeping it like that. Right. Gosh, I'm puffed out and I just did a stencil. There. This also is going to go in a half along here, this edge here, right? So I'm going to get on and do these little things. I'm going to finish blending those little bits down the bottom. I'm actually thinking now I'm going to seal it, do the handles, and we'll be back for the reveal. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Just before we stage it up, I just want to tell you what the postcard said. The postcard, the Le Louvre
do a little close up on it.
Postcard. And here's the words again. This is what it says. Are you ready? I am in Paris, where I am bored. I send you my love and my souvenir. Yep,
it's
obviously.
Class, isn't it?
Paris isn't even boring, but okay. Yeah, there you go. So that was translated into that. So whoever it was, he was clearly bored, or she was. They were bored.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're finished. there's a whole load of stenciling in this, a whole load of moving your stencils. Remember to move your stencils around so that you can get different patterns. Remember, if there's specific negative spaces that you can fit a stencil in for this look, feel free to do that. Mix and match your stencils. That's what this look is about. And the layers. The layers of distress. I really like the ochre that I've put over the top of it at the end. I think that really works. I've got Martin to put me a little catch on here. It's not, this bowl isn't on, but inside has been thoroughly cleaned. Now, all I'll say is this: you must make sure that if you're selling your furniture that it's thoroughly cleaned. There's no evidence of any dust, dirt. And although it had been scrubbed, there was only so much I could do with all the mountains of paper. So the best course of action was to decoupage it and freshen the whole thing up. It's now been sealed inside, so it's waterproof. All of these things. Now, Martin has a hankering. He really wants to keep this piece. So whether it was for me or a customer, more importantly a customer, you have to make sure that you do all of the steps. This piece has been waxed, but it's okay because the temperature has risen in Scotland. It's going to be at the same sort of ambient temperature in here all day because I've got my live tonight and it doesn't finish till 9:30 at night, and later on I'll be tidying up, so the heaters will be on all day. So it's been waxed just to bring out the colour. I just wanted to be able to wax this one just to make it a bit richer looking. I like the little handles I've made. Look out, there might be something in the future about me maybe doing something like that. And that's really been it for today. Now remember, when you are selling your furniture, remember to describe what it is that you're selling. So you need to sell the dream, you need to sell the lifestyle, and it's really important that you explain to your customers exactly what you've done. Upcycling on Etsy, using it as a tag is not a bad thing to be using. It's not you shouldn't shy away from that. People want to know what happened to it. What was it? What was the process that you did? It makes them go, oh, and would look good here or there or with this function. Think of functions, not just one function. Think of many functions that it could be, or many rooms it could be put in. These are all things really important when you're selling furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this one.
Yeah.
You could have a rainforest on top of it.
You could. Yeah. Martin's really pleased because the plants are on top of it, and that's how he imagined it. And I think that's the really good thing, because it's quite squat. It's not hugely tall.
It's not too tall. It's just the right height.
Just the right height. So whether we keep it or whether we're not,
we're keeping it.
Well, Matt says we're definitely keeping it. I think our roles have reversed in this relationship. I used to always say, we'll keep it, and he'd say there's no room. Now he's always going, let's keep it.
Yeah.
So I've been Leo from Made by Marley.
We're very lucky that you do what you do, because we have a really beautiful home because of what you do. So this is just the latest addition to it. So
well, it's fine, but it can also be a very cramped, tiny little home with no room to move. If you haven't already, if you've been watching us for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, please can subscribe. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. It's going to go downhill soon.
That's a reason to watch.
That's a reason to watch now. You know, I'm in my prime now. I mean, it could get terrible. So give us a like, give us a share, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to push the bell notification just so that you know when we've released a new video. And the lovely Martin and I, it's Martin's birthday today. The lovely Martin and I will see you next Sunday. Martin, do you have anything to add?
No.
Just that you want it.
Piece. I want it. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a stunner. It really is. I love it. I mean, it's not everybody's taste, obviously, but just mine. I love it.
Oh dear. Oh, right. Okay. So we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.